Why are they tracking this information? Who are they sharing this information with? What questions do you have?
Well, I'm not surprised that they're doing that. I think I was on this show maybe months ago talking about how, given the software that they're using, any of these prosecutors, anybody that is in the system that is logging in and then redacting information or doing anything, there will be an electronic footprint of what's happening. So this isn't redactions. This is just now searches to review it, but it would be the same for anybody in DOJ. So I'm not surprised they're tracking it. I am surprised because I think that's just the default. I do think there is something when you're printing it out and bringing it in a binder to a hearing to then use it against a member of Congress who's asking questions in an oversight function. That's clearly improper. But from what I can tell, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Why not ask for Pam Bondi's search history? Any searches that she ran, any searches she directed others to run. Same for the Deputy Attorney General. If this is fair game, I'd like to see what they are doing in terms of what searches are pertinent to them, because there's no active investigation that they have at least told us about. They've said they've closed up shop. So what are they doing with these files? Let's look at their search history.
Mike, put Dems on offense.
It might put them on offense a little bit. I think that I like that idea, Christy, and I think in terms of where Angelo was just speaking about the MAGAverse, that would be a very interesting conversation to have them see exactly what aspects of the Epstein files Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and others are interested in as they, sort of wipe their hands and close up shop. So that then, for me, Angelo, raises an interesting question about how this narratively continues to play as you begin to hear more and more from Republicans about pushing the, we're for the everyman, we're for the common man theme. You had Senator Ossoff talking about, this past Saturday, about the Epstein class. Let's listen to that real quick.
Now, you remember, we were told that MAGA was for working class Americans. But this is a government of, by, and for the ultra-rich. It is the wealthiest cabinet ever. This is the Epstein class. They are the elites they pretend to hate. So prices are up, jobs are going away, Medicaid and school lunches are slashed, nursing homes are getting defunded. If you're Steve Bannon and your pitch was Trump for the forgotten man and woman, how do you sell any of this?
How do they sell that? Particularly when you have Trump today doing the hubba I didn't know, I was never there. Of course she was never at Epstein Island. He had Mar-a-Lago. And we know victims who were, a part of that storyline. So how do they sell that?
They don't. And this is the significant thing to consider. When part of Trump's ascent to power was that he ran on conspiracy theories. I mean, he organized power and built it on what used to be considered the fringes. And the fuel for that were all these conspiracy theories that he was tapping into and harnessing. Now he's running away from them, right? So he's not trying to sell it. He's not trying to paper it over. He's not trying to repackage it and give it back to people. And that's the part that's significant about all of this, because those wheels are still spinning out there. When I look at sort of the narrative, the larger information landscape, I think about it as rings. You have people that are diehards that are always engaged in the political swirl. But then if you go 2 or 3 rings out, that's where you can really get a sense of whether or not the story is beginning to penetrate. What's the vibe? What's the general sense? And if you look 3 rings out right now, the Epstein class notion resonates. I mean, they are talking about the fact, they're still digging through the files. They're trying to figure out whether or not Epstein, when he was talking about jerky, if he was actually using that as code for cannibalism. I mean, that is still churning at scale. And tied into that is this idea that all these bad people did bad things and that the Trump administration are letting them get away with it. And more importantly, they're not just letting them get away with it, they're actively participating in the cover-up. So when Trump says things like today, that only reinforces that narrative that is out there spinning on himself. So when Senator Ossoff says that comment about Epstein class, it's a cute talking point, but it actually is tapping into a sentiment and a sense that is fairly pervasive and is metastasizing all on its own.